Hello and welcome to Word Advanced class. This class is a perfect introduction to Microsoft Word. In this class, we're installing it, we're having our first impression with it, we're creating our first ever document, adding our text, editing our text, working with all those effects and all those basic kind of tools that the software provides us with, and we're going to learn it, from the very scratch. We're going through insetables and all those visuals that we can add to our documents, images, 3D models, icons, shapes, tables, SmartArts, charts, and we are going through design settings and page layout settings, the page sizing, margins, and all, which are all considered as we can say semi-pro kind of parts of Microsoft Word. We're going through drawing tools in Microsoft Word. We're going through symbols in Microsoft Word, equations, mathematical equations, and how we can add them to our documents, and all those pro tips that you need in order to become a professional and be recognized as an advanced Word user. This is Nima Ghasemi, your instructor in this class, and just like any other classes that I have ever taught, this class is also a part of the Takeoff College, the smartest alternative currently available to the traditional education. With all that being said, let's get started with Word Advanced. Hey everyone, we are getting started with Microsoft Word in the Takeoff College. So, what is Microsoft Word? Microsoft Word, as you see, is a word processing program developed by Microsoft and was first released in 1983 as a multi-tool word. And yes, these are the information that you can catch about it in Wikipedia. But over here, as you see, it has introduced it as a word processing program. But what is a word processor program? Word processor programs are basically softwares that were and are primarily used for editing and working with text-based documents. So they are all text-oriented and text-based. And now we can say that Microsoft Word is either the most known and the most powerful, or one of the most known and the most famous softwares in this field that are used. Microsoft Word is a part and a child to the Microsoft Office. So if you consider Microsoft Office as a family, Word is one of its childs. A lot of people believe that Word is the first child in this family, and as you see, one of the core ones. So we have 3 core products and softwares inside Microsoft Office, which are Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So Word is one of them. And also mentionable that we have courses for all these 3 softwares right now in the Takeoff College that you can go through and learn a lot with them. So this is basically what Microsoft Word is. In order to get that, you can use the Microsoft official website. You can visit it. And as you see, here we have useful information on it. So a couple images are not loaded, but whatever. As you see, we have subscriptions to Word. So we have a free one. We have a Microsoft 365 Personal with a yearly subscription, and a family one with a little bit higher price. We also have, actually Word also offers plans for businesses and stuff, but as you see, the free one is probably going to be the case for us as we are getting started to learn it. So we skip the installation process. It's very easy. You just sign in or sign up or whatever over here and get the official version from the Microsoft website. And however you get it and however you decide to get your hands onto this software, you will have it installed, and this is where we are getting started with it. So like any other software or program in our computer, we double click in order to open it up. And as you see, this is what we have over here. So this is going to be the look that you are going to get. Here we have a couple of our recent projects. We can go to options, and you may be facing a different environment and a different color setup, so we can change it over here in Office Theme in the general section of Word options. So I have set it to colorful, and we are going to continue our course and our tutorials with this kind of theme. You may be facing something like this, for example, especially if you're using dark mode as your primary theme of your computer device or whatever. You may also be facing something like this or whatever, but you can always come to options and change it to whatever you want. So colorful is what we are using and approaching Microsoft Word with. So this is options, and this is changing the color theme to the program. Over here, as you see, we have a new part, which is about creating a new document. Document is what we call our Word projects. We also can click on More Templates and access many of the available ones which we can use. We are going to go through them inside the course, especially in the project-oriented part, which is going to be the next sessions and next lessons to our course. But whatever, we get back to where we were. So this is how it is. We have new document options over here, and we have a couple of our recent projects that we have been working on. You may not be facing anything over here, especially if you're just getting started with your Word and it is probably empty. So in order to get started, you can come here and click blank document, and this is what you are going to get. This is your first ever Microsoft Word project. We call it a document, as I mentioned. And yes, this is basically it. In order to get started, you can see that we have a pretty simple, easy to use interface over here. In the top, we have our tabs and the settings that they offer us. Here we have our document and project, which we can be viewing or working on. And over here, we have some kind of a toolbar or something that we can be doing multiple actions inside. So, as I said, what we are doing and what we are working with is Microsoft Word, which is a text-based and text-oriented tool. So in order to work with that, we will be needing to get started with typing something over here. So I say, for example, welcome to the Takeoff College. Here we offer a full course bundle of any skill you may need in your career life. So this is the text we have, and as you see, it's very simple. You just click and start typing. But the point here is that you cannot just start typing wherever you click. So for example, I click here and I want to type something over here, but if I type, as you see, it types here. So you cannot position your text that much. You actually can, and you are going to learn how to do that, but in general form, in a tool like Microsoft Word, one of the primary reasons to that is that we are seeking document management and document processing, and one of the key factors inside that is optimization and cleanness of our text and having a frame. And in order to have a frame, we cannot break it just like that. So we cannot click wherever we want and continue typing or whatever, you know. There's rules to the game, there's frames to the game, and you are going to learn them one by one inside this course. So The first principle that you need to keep in mind in this software we are working on is that whatever change you want to apply to whatever part of your text or project or whatever you may call it, you need to select that specific part that you are going to change. This is very important. So, for example, I want to change the size to the Takeoff college thing. I want to make it bigger. In order to do that, the first step is to select it. And selection is by clicking and dragging, and now a selection is made, just like that. So, this is very important, but whatever. For example, I have selected this and I want to change its font size. This is where we come to our Home tab and the font section. So over here we have plenty of changes and plenty of settings for our text, for our selected text. Here we have font family. So we can open this drop down up and choose between them, choose whatever font we are seeking to use in our project. For example, I say this, open a sans. Over here we have font size. So this is a number that, as you can see, we can choose, and we can either increase or decrease. Or we also can use these two buttons. So this is for increasing the font size and this is for decreasing the font size. And every time we click on one, it will either increase or decrease a unit of that number. So the change will be visible over here for us. A very important point and a very important part here to mention is that here, as you saw, we may not have many numbers available. For example, we have 16 and we have 18, but we do not have 17. Or we have 18 and 20, but we do not have 19, you know. Here, whenever you face such problem, you can just click, select this number, and change it by typing something here. So I say 19. I press enter, and as you see, this is applicable. Another important part to mention and to keep in mind is that there is no limit to the font size. So a lot of people come and see this 72 thing, and they think that, okay, this is the maximum number that I can use, but this is not the case at all. I can come here and even say like 150. And as you see, this will be applicable to my text. So there is no limit, no minimum or no maximum to the font size. This is again a very important thing to know and to keep in mind. So this is it. We also, in the font section we are still in, we also have a couple text formatting options that we can use. As you see, we have bold, so we can choose a part of our text and turn this bold on. And what it does is that it bolds that specific part of our text, as you can see. We also have italic, so we can either apply both to one, as you see, or I can say, for example, this career thing, I want this to be italic, not bold. So as you see, I applied this italic to it, and it is now italic. So these are formatting options. We also have underline, so we can underline a part of our text if it's important or something like that. So I can say, I want this full course to be underlined. And as you see, this is how it works. We also can strike through a part of our text. So we can basically select it. Like I can say this life thing, I want to strike through it. And as you see, a line is placed over our text. We also have two other formatting options over here, which are subscript and superscript. And what they do is that, let me zoom in at first. So I use this bar in order to do that. I say, this is my text, superscript, subscript. So I choose this superscript text and try to apply this superscript on it. So I click, and as you see, this is exactly what it does with our text. So we can use it in whatever we are involved with. It may be a formula, it may be a mathematical equation or anything like that, so we can use it. Or even chemical equations may include such things. So we have superscript, and we also have subscript, as you see, which does exactly the vice versa. So it makes our text small and brings it to the bottom of the actual lines we are involved with. So these are applicable as well. Another important thing that we have in this phone section is text effects and typography. So here, as you see, if I open this drop down up, we have presets. So presets are basically pre-built styles and pre-built designs that we can apply to whatever text we are having and use them in order to make our document more beautiful, or closer to how we want it to be. So, for example, I select the Takeoff College again and come here at text effects and typography. I click, so the drop down will be opened, and as you see, whatever style that I hover, so I bring my mouse on, we can see the preview of that on our selected text. And at the end, whichever that we choose to continue with, we can just click on it and it will be applied to our text, just like that, as easy as that. We also have multiple settings that we can apply to this text. We have outline, which we can work on individually. We can select a color for it. We can set up the weight of it. We can change its style, so we can add dashed out, solid outlines, dotted outlines, dashed outlines, and anything like that to our text. We also have shadow, which offers us multiple different sides and angles of lighting, which occur to give us different types of shadows, and as you see, we can have them. These are presets as well. We also have reflections, which are about this mirroring kind of thing, which can be used in many places. We also have glow, which is very different from shadow. So as the name says, it will make our text glow or something like that, We also have number styles, which we can set for our text, and other kinds of settings that we have them all inside this text effects and typography thing. The next thing that we have in this phone section, and is very interesting, is the ability to highlight whatever part of our text or document that we want to. So how it basically works is just like a highlighter marker or something like that, You just select a part of the text that you want to highlight, and then you come here at font and you can click on text highlight color, and this is what it will do, This will highlight your text. You can also click this little toggle over here and open this drop down up in order to choose the color of the highlighter that you are using in order to highlight this particular part of your text. So this is it. We also have text color over here, so we can select a part of it, for example, the welcome part, and I can click it. So as you see, the default color over here is set to red. So whenever I click, it will change my font color to red. But we also have a toggle over here. We can open it up and select whatever color that we want to specifically apply to this part of our selected text. So I can say I want this welcome thing to be green, for example. And this is how it will work, as you see. So this is it. We also have two very important other options that are left from our font section. One of them is changing cases, which is about, again, styling our text or something like that, whatever you may call it. So we have different styles that we can apply. One of them is capitalize the first letter to every word. The second one is capitalize the first letter to every sentence. Whenever you see this line thing, this red line, it is announcing you that you have an error. So you have written something wrong, and you can right click, and as you see, it will offer you the correct things in that language, the correct kind of writings for that word in the language that you're writing in. So it will help you a lot. I say capitalize. Yes, I have a mistake over here. So capitalize the first letter to every word, to every sentence. Capitalize all the letters to the text of the text, and use lowercase letters only. So we have all these options. All we need to do is that we need to select the part of our text that we want to change and come here at the font section and open this drop down up, change case. And for this one, I say the letter to every word. So capitalize each word. This is what I select. As you see, this is how it will become. I can use capitalize the first letter to every sentence. So as you see, nothing will change because it is already like that. I can use capitalize all the letters of the text by using the uppercase item. As you see, this is how it works. And we also have lowercase, which will do this to my text. We also have a very interesting one, which is a little bit weird, but is use lowercase letters for the first letter of each word. And if I apply this option from here, this is, as you can see, what we have. So I was wrong about word, it was sentence. But as you see, it will make the beginning to every sentence small and capitalize the rest. So it's funny, you know. Whatever. These are about cases in Microsoft Word. And at the end, one of the, again, most used items and options in the font section over here is clear all formatting. So what it basically does is that it removes every single font change or formatting change, whatever we have done through this section, you know, this section entirely. It will remove them all and get the entire of the selected text back to how it used to look like and how it was at the beginning and by default. So I can apply it to my entire document. As you see, I can select them all and come here and click clear all formatting. And as you see, this is what will happen. So the only things that will not change are the case changes and highlights. So highlights and case changes are safe from this clear formatting, but any other changes that we have made to the styles or to the looks of our text are removed and are cleared. The next important section to Microsoft Word is the paragraph section. So we have plenty of options and the ability to do plenty of things when it comes to the paragraph section. The first one is creating lists in Microsoft Word. So you have a document, and in a part of it, you reach a section, you reach a part of your text that you need lists inside. So you need to list a couple things. This listing can either be bullet lists or numbered lists. So we have the ability to have both inside Microsoft Word. In order to do that, all you need to do is to type your list, as we have done, something like this, and select the text that you want to convert to a list, and come here and click on this bullets icon. So this is what we will do. It will create you a bullet list. You can always come to this drop down, so click this toggle and open it up and choose between different styles that Microsoft Word offers you. So you can choose your list to be like any of these items that we have over here. A very important point and a very important part to lists is nesting them and adding up multiple levels to those lists, which is an available option inside Microsoft Word. In order to do that, you need to click wherever you want to add your nested kind of items in, and enter. So a new item will be created, and by pressing tab on your keyboard, you will be forwarded into one level ahead, and this is how you can create nested lists. So you can say, this is my nested item. Again, press enter, and as you see, the next item will as well be inside the second level. So you can switch between these levels by again pressing tab. You can go to level 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's endless limit to the levels that a list can have. And yes, this is how we can create nested lists inside Microsoft Word. And we also have numbered lists, as I said, so you can select your text and click this icon, and you will have a numbered list. And over here, as you see, inside this drop down, we have multiple types and kinds to numbered lists that we can use. So we have numbers, we have Roman numbers, and there's many possibilities to them. Sorry, I was here. It was a mistake. Yes, we have many possibilities. We have numbers with dots, we have numbers with parentheses, we have Roman numbers, we have English alphabet in different kinds of formatting, and you can choose between them the one that suits your desire and your goals best. So this is about lists in Microsoft Word. Another very important part of the paragraph section is aligning. So in many cases, you have to align your text, either centralize it or align it to right or left, and control that alignment. And here is where you can do that. You can basically come at the line that you want to make the changes to, and come here and, for example, click center. And this is what you will have as a centralized text. You can click right, and this is what you get, and yes, that's it. This is how you can align your text. But I want to mention a very important point here. So do not mistake alignment with text direction. These two are completely different subjects. So alignment is about the looks and how you want your text to look, its appearance, or whatever. Alignment is about what part of the line or what part of the page you want your text to be positioned in. But text direction is a completely different thing. Text direction is either you are typing in many languages which are left to right, or you are, for example, typing in Arabic, that needs to be right to left. And what text direction does is all about formatting, is about where the end signs of your sentences will be placed in, and it's all about that. So it is about the language that you are using, but this one is about where you where you want your text to be positioned in. So these are two completely different things. So this is about language, but this is about appearance and can be used for any kind of language you're in. You can type in English, but align it to right, that's it. So we also have different types of justifications when it comes to texts. So we have open this list up and we will have multiple options inside it. So in order to understand this part completely, we need a longer text. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make all these content we have over here join each other. So as you see, this is what we got. And in the justify part, we can, for example, use this justify item and pay attention to how my sentences are looking like right now. If I click this justify, this is what will happen, as you see. So automatic spaces will be added in between of my words and letters in order to make it look as clean as possible. So we have different kinds of it: justify low, justify medium, justify high. And as you see, we can get different outcomes from each of these items. Yes, that's it. We also have line and paragraph spacing. So we can basically give it a number, and this number will define the space between our lines. We can also use these add space before paragraph and remove space after paragraph options. And that's basically it. So these are what we have for line spacing. I can, for example, set it to 1.5, and this is what I will get, as you see. We also have shading, which is about the background color to the selected part of our text, which can also be used and can be set, as you see, very wisely from all the color ranges that we are given. What else do we have? We can add borders into different parts of our selected text, For example, if I say need, I want this need to be changed, and I add borders to it, as you see, we still can make specific changes just to words, or sentences or something like that. But in paragraph, we have a wider range of options, as you see, so we can add different borders to different parts of our text in order to make the changes that we are seeking. The next very important section to Microsoft Word is this clipboard. So it will provide us with these commands that we have everywhere inside our computer devices, which are cut, copy, and paste. We also have Format Painter that we will talk about a little bit later. So where do we use cut? For example, I have this here, over here, and I want this here to be positioned over here. So I want to bring this down and move it into a different part of my document. So this is when I use cut. As you see, I can select this word and click cut, and it will be caught, and I can go to any different part of my document, and by clicking this paste, as you see, this will be pasted in that part that I'm looking to move this word into. So we also have multiple pasting options. We have keep source formatting, which will basically paste it with every kind of settings that are done into that word. But for example, let me change the font family to this and the font size to this. And now if I cut or copy, paste is common for both of them. So if I copy this, the Takeoff College, and come here and try paste with formatting, so keep source formatting, this is what I will get, as you see. We also have merge formatting, which will basically merge the formatting that we have here, and we used to have where the text used to be placed in, and it will merge those two. And we also have keep text only, which will give us this, as you see. So I got this text, but the text only. But if I choose paste and keep source formatting, this is what I will get. So this is it. We also have picture, which is completely different, is only used for copying, cutting and pasting pictures and moving them inside our document. The next thing we have here in the clipboard section is Format Painter, which is again a very cool, useful tool inside Microsoft Word. What it will do is that, let me explain you a situation. So you have applied those changes you wanted to the Takeoff College text. You have changed its font family, you have changed its font size, and all those formatting changes. And now you want this part of your text to look exactly like this part does. So what you do is that you copy the formatting and paste the formatting over here. And how you do that is by Format Painter. So what you need to do is, at first you need to select a part of the text that you want this style from, and come here and click Format Painter. And afterwards you need to select the text that you want to change its formatting. And as you see, this is what we will get. So this is Format Painter and how it works and its functionality. Another important section in Microsoft Word is the editing section, which is about finding, replacing, making selections, and same stuff. So in Microsoft Word, a lot of times we have long documents with pages and pages and pages of content. So whenever we want to make a small change, it will be very difficult. And that's where we use the editing section. We have find, which we can add a certain text to. So I can say, I want you to find me wherever it has written superscript. And as you see, this will show me the paragraph and the part which this is included in. And I can click on it and it will select the text for me. We may be seeking a text that has been repeated multiple times. So I say Takeoff. And as you see, it says we have it 3 times and in 3 different parts. So if I click on each, it will get me onto that specific one. I also can use these 2 arrows to navigate between these results that it has found me. We also can view it in pages and headings, which are different types of searching, and we can get other kinds of outlooks and perspectives for the same purpose. We have replace, which is about not just finding, but also changing a certain word. So if I click replace, for example, I want all Takeoff words to be changed to something, you know. So I want to find all takeoffs and replace them all with something. I can do that by typing these two like this, and after all, clicking replace all. And what it will do is that, as you see, it will change all takeoffs that we had to something. So again, if I say takeoff in search, as you see, we do not have any takeoff inside our page. But if I say something, we will have 3 of something. And we can always get back to how it was. So I can again say find all somethings and turn them back into takeoff. And it will do it just like that. After all, we get to the structure and the layout to our overall document and the settings to our documents, which will happen inside the layout tab. So we need to click on it in order to go through the options and settings that the layout tab offers us in order to set up our document for whatever project we want to be working on. The first thing we have is margins. So margins are those white spaces that our document has between the borders of the actual paper and the edges of the actual paper and the text and the content that we have. So this white space is called margin. We can control it from here, so we can come to layout, margins, and set it either to normal. These are presets. So we have normal, we have narrow, as you see, we have moderate, we have wide, and we have Office 2003 default, as you see. And we also have custom margins where we can control these spaces with numbers and apply exactly what we are seeking to our project. So this was margins. We also have orientation, which is about which orientation our pages are going to be in. So we can always open this up and choose between landscape and portrait, just like that. The next thing we have is the sizing to the to the papers of our project. So what sizes are we going to work with? And at the end, what kind of papers are we going to and looking forward to doing our printing on? So in order to do that, in order to control that, we can always come to size, open this up. We also have presets here. So we have letter, we have legal, executive. We have international paper sizes. So we have A3, A4, A5, A6 even. We have B4, B5, and other sizes. We have envelope, we have Japanese papers, business card, architecture, A sheet, B sheet, and all those presets which are integrated inside Microsoft Word that we can choose from. We also can click on more paper sizes and do this selection and change these sizings however we want to and make it exactly like what we want. So I close it, I set it back to letter. We also have columns. So this is very cool. Whenever your document is going to look like a newspaper, magazine or something like that, if you've seen. So there are columns inside of them. You can come at layout, columns, and make your project like that. So you can make it 2, for example. And as you see, this is what you get. You have 2 columns. If you continue on typing and adding text, as you see, the rest of it will be added to your next column. We also have 3 columns, and we also have left and right. So these are some kind of a sidebar thing. So it will only add 1 column to the left, and the rest will be at the right of your page, or vice versa. You can say the column and choose the column to be placed at right. So this is it. We also can click on more columns for more complex settings and changes. So I set it back to 1. And the next options we have here are, for example, break. So break is a very useful one. Imagine being stuck inside a very, very long, complicated document with loads and loads and loads of text, and you want to go to the next page from a certain part and continue typing or writing on the next page. What you can do is that you can use break. So what it will do is that it will, wherever your cursor is placed in, so for example, I want my next page to start from this particular word. So I place my cursor behind it, before it, and I come to breaks and click page. And as you see, this will go to the next page that we have and start from that. We also have column breaks that we can use. We also have line numbers, which is a very cool one. We can click continuous, and as you see, what will happen is that it will number every single line that we have inside our document. So this also can be useful in many times and in many terms, but keep in mind that it will number every single line, no matter you want it or not. So this is not at all a smart choice if you are looking for making lists or something. It's just lining numbers, as it says, you know. That's it. After all, I want to make you a little bit more familiar with what we have over here in the bottom of our Microsoft Word. The first thing we have is this bar we use for zooming. So we can use this scroll bar either to zoom in or zoom out. We also have 2 little buttons. The plus one will zoom in and the minus one will zoom out. We also have this number, which can be used in order to choose the ratio of reality that we want to our view to be in. So if I say 100%, this will probably be a normal A4 size and how it will look like, you know, something like that. We also have these viewing options. Read mode or web mode are selectable. Web mode is available because Word can also be used in creating web pages or something like that. I don't want to get into it right now, but we will have certain project-based sessions about this web Word particularly. But I get back to print layout. So these are the 3 viewing options we've got. We also have some information over here. For example, it says how many pages we have totally and what page we are located on currently. So it says we are at page 2 of 2. I can get back to this part, and as you see, this will say we are at page 1 of 2. Here we also have a word counter, which will count the words to our entire document, which can be useful. We also have this language, which is the detected language of Microsoft Word for the texts that we have added to this project. So it will detect it automatically and show it to us. And that's basically it. Now, let's insert a couple cool stuff inside our document in order to make it more and more professional. The first thing that we have and can always add to our projects is table. So we can always go to the insert tab, and as you see, we have table over here. We can click this drop down, open it up, and as you see, we have this visual selector that we can use in order to define our sizing, as you see. By clicking insert table, we can do it manually. So if we want a certain amount of columns or rows, we can tell Microsoft Word how many columns and rows we need. And by clicking OK, as you see, our table will be created. So I delete it by clicking this selection button we have over here and pressing back arrow on my keyboard. And I open this up again. We also have draw table, so it will provide us with this pencil that we can use in order to draw a table and draw lines inside it in order to achieve the exact kind of table that we are looking for with the specific sizing and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So this is also draw table. We also have Excel spreadsheet, which can be used in order to insert Microsoft Excel tables. So let's do that. Sorry. I uncheck this draw table thing and I remove it. I say I have a Excel spreadsheet. I want to import it. So as you see here, will look exactly like an Excel table. We can fill it, and afterwards it will provide us with it. If you don't know how to work with Microsoft Excel, or you don't even know what it is or something, you can always get to the Microsoft Excel full course, complete course that we have on the Takeoff College. That's always available to you. So I delete this table again and try inserting by this visual selector we have over here. Inside tables, where you can always type things. So I say, for example, January, or let's say product, January, February, March. So this is, for example, a revenue table or something like that. I say our specific kind of an ice cream has generated us 20,000 in January, 17,500 in February, and 19,950 in March. The kind of cake that we have, for example, you know, imaginary numbers. And the last one is, for example, let's say milk, whatever, you know, 40,000, 35,000, 32,000. Yes, so this is what we got. Whenever we create a table, we'll get the access to these two tabs that we have over here. So the first one is table design, the second one is table layout. In order to make changes onto tables, you need to select that table first, which happens by clicking this little button that will be turned on over here for you. By choosing it, you can always come to table design and open this drop down and choose between these presets that you get for the way that your table is going to look like. You also have multiple settings. You have border style, you can choose. You have sizing options and style options. You have colors that you can set for your table's background color, and all are available in the Table Design tab. We also have Table Layout, which is all about inserting a row below, inserting a row above, delete cell, column, row, or the entire table. So I say delete row, for example. I choose this one also and say delete row again. We also have erase, which will remove multiple lines for us if we need to. We also have draw table, which will work exactly like I just said. With eraser, we can remove what we have added with draw table. Yes, we have, as you see, alignment options. So if I increase the size of my table by clicking this little square and dragging it, as you see, we have a specific kind of text alignment for each cell that we can control through here. So I can say I want all of them to be placed in center, as you see, right or left, or top left, top center, top right, bottom center, bottom left, as you see. We also have text directions, as you see. So this will change the direction to our text, just like you watched. We also have cell margins, which we can add. And these are all that we have got for tables in Microsoft Word. In continue to our journey with Microsoft Word, we have multiple other insertables as well that we can use the Insert tab in order to insert in our project and build our unbeatable designs, The first one is a picture. So whenever you want to add a picture into your Word document, all you need to do is that you need to come to the Insert tab, and over here you can add a picture from either the device that you are currently using, or you can add from stock images that Microsoft Word offers you, which are free of copyright and can be used in any project that you are currently working on, if you find any helpful images there. You also have import images online from the URL that the image has, and you can easily just copy the address to that image and come here and paste this online picture and add it to your project. So let's do it by the device. So I click this device, and as you see, an insert picture window will be opened for me, and I can navigate through my entire device in order to find my image, choose it, and click insert. And as you see, this is what we get when we insert an image into Microsoft Word. So, just like what we had with the tables, as you see, an extra tab will be visible for you when you insert your image into the software. And the tab is called Picture Format, which contains all the settings that you may want and use for an image. The first concept that we want to go through about images is the wrap text. So how it works is that it basically formats and showcases how the image is going to be used, the positioning of it, and the relationship between this image and the text that you have inside your project. So as you see, this image that I've added over here is not movable that much. If I move it, as you see, it won't be moved. The only way to move it is that I drag it in another part of my text and I place it, for example, over here. And as you see, it will be forward it to this position. So this image is working just like a text does. I need to position it between my text, and this is how it's working. I can change it through the wrap text, so it is visible over here, or you can come to picture format and have it here, as you see. It can either become a square, so as you see, this is now resizable and movable easily among my entire project. And you see the relationship that it has with the texts. So this is just like a square, and my text will go around it, as you see. We also have tight, which is going to work like this. So it's not a square anymore. It's all about the shape of the image. So it can even be a circle or something like that, you know. We can use through, which works like this, as you see. We can have top and bottom. So how this will work is that it will empty the sides of the image for you, and only top and the bottom of the image will contain any text that exists there. We have behind them, which will work like this, as you see. And we have in front of text, which is like this. So this will be completely separated from your text and movable and manageable like that. Over here, we also have multiple useful styling options. We have remove background, which is about removing certain parts of the image by their color as you prefer. So how it works is that this background removal tab will be opened, and you can either mark areas to keep with this green tool or mark areas to remove. And after all, by clicking keep changes, as you see, those parts will be removed. Or I press Ctrl Z. By clicking discard all changes, the picture will remain how it was and no changes will be applied to it. We also have corrections, which is about brightness, contrast, and lighting kinds of stuff. You can have corrections on your image if you prefer to. You also can adopt certain colors onto your image, just like you see. You can use artistic effects that Microsoft Word provides us with in order to make your image look exactly like you want. You can also set its transparency to different levels. So if the image becomes transparent, as you see, this image now is positioned over the text, but the text is visible because the image has become transparent. But if I increase the transparency, as you see, the text goes away. We also have preset styles that we can choose for our images and for our media. We have picture border settings, the color of it, the weight of it, the types of it, and the styles to the border of the picture. We have effects for it, so we have 3D rotations. We have glow, reflection, shadow, and all same kinds of stuff that you can choose from, all presets. And we also have crop that allows us to, as you see, cut a part of the image and crop it. And afterwards, this will be the end result. So I press Ctrl Z in order to go back in the changes I created. We also have bring forward and send backward. These are for whenever we have multiple images. So when we have multiple images, they will work like layers on each other, and you can position them by these two items. You also can right click and access them from here, bring to front and send to back. And that's what it is about images. We also can insert shapes inside our project. So I head over to the Insert tab and we have shapes over here. As you see, we have plenty of them that we can click on and we can draw. And just like that, we can have them inside our document. As you see, this specific shape that I chose has this yellow circle in it, which is about setting the roundness and the radius of the borders to my shape. And we also have a separate tab for our shapes. As you see, we have shape format, which provides us with multiple presets on the design of our shape. We have shape fill, changeable and controllable over here. We have shape outline, controllable over here. We have effects for the shape, just like what we had for images. And we have designs and effects for the texts that are inside the shape. So what we can do is that we can right click on whatever shape we have and click add text in order to add text. So this is my text. As you see, it's not readable at all. We can select the text, come to home, change its color, back to shape format. And here we have settings for the text inside of it. So we have styles that we can apply to the text. We have text fill, we have outline, and we have text effects as well. We have text direction, as you see. We have alignment of the text. We can create link. The next thing we can add over here is icons, which are available from, I think, Microsoft Office 2019 or something. And we have all of them over here. We can include them inside our project easily by choosing the icon we want. We can also search over here. For example, I want this one, and click insert. And as easy as that, the picture will be downloaded and we will have this icon inside our project. We can place it wherever we want and make any use that we want out of it. We also have 3D models, which is again a pretty new thing. By clicking on that, you will access all the 3D models that Microsoft has prepared for you and is offering you. You can choose among them. For example, I want this category of summer, and I want this ship, for example, or whatever it is. So you can choose whatever you are looking for, click insert, and that 3D model will be loaded on your project, just like that. It may take a little bit of time due to the heaviness of the model that you chose. I cancel it. Let me try a lighter one that will be loaded more quickly, you know? So as you see, this is what we get as a 3D shape. We can go through it with this little button we have over here. We can navigate around it and we can rotate it, a 3D rotation, to get to the angle that we want to use inside our project. They're very cool. We have multiple preset views and angles, as I said, over here that we can use as well. And as easy as that, you can add up 3D models into your Microsoft Word document. The next thing that we can have inside our document is charts and SmartArts. So a lot of the time, people ask me about the difference between these two. The answer to that question is that we use charts whenever we have numbers, whenever we have statistics, and whenever we want to showcase those stats, mostly numeric stats, to our audience, and that's when we use charts. While SmartArts are more for visual concepts, are more for algorithms and same stuff, where we don't have that much numbers, but we want to explain a concept and show it to our audience in a better way. So this is the difference we have between these two. In order to add a SmartArt to your Word document, you just need to click on this button and go through all the presets again that Microsoft Word offers you and choose the one that you are seeking. So for example, I want this one. And afterwards, click OK. And as you see, this is what you get. So in the tab opened, which is SmartArt Design, you can always come and change the design of your SmartArt. You can change its colors, as you see, as easy as that. And throughout this panel that is opened over here, you can add and change the values of that SmartArt. So I can say, for example, this is step 1. This is step 2. This is step 3. This is step 4. And this is step 5. So this is how you can add and manage SmartArts inside your project. They also contain texts, as you see, and in order to manage those texts, you can go to your Home tab and change the font family or the font size or whatever it is to these SmartArts in order to make them look exactly like you want them to. We also have charts. In order to add a chart to your project, you can click this icon and at first go through all the presets that Microsoft Word offers for your chart and eventually choose the type of chart that you are seeking to add to your project. Click OK, and afterwards it will open you up a Microsoft Excel kind of thing. So this is a table that you need to add your values to, and those values will be showcased in the chart. I have already prepared an Excel document of some sample data that I want to bring to this project. So I copy all of this and come here, and by Ctrl V I paste it. Isn't the same size as your selection. Do you want to paste anyway? Okay. And yes, as you see, this is what I will get. I can title it, for example. I say monthly revenue, And as you select it, this format chart area will be opened up. You can go through the settings that certain type and kind of chart that you chose has to offer, and you can go through them and practice working with them. They will be about formatting your chart and how it looks like. We also have this chart design tab opened up right here, and you can choose from those presets again that we have for the looks of your chart. We have colors that we can change to make them eventually what we want. And by clicking this edit data thing, you will always have access to this Microsoft Excel kind of table that we have over here in order to make any further changes if needed. and if applicable. If you don't know what Microsoft Excel is, it is a very powerful, important tool, another core product of the Microsoft Office family. So it's like a brother to Microsoft Word or something like that. We also have courses available for Microsoft Excel on the Takeoff College that you can take in order to learn that software as well. So this is it. We also have Screenshot, which is another pretty cool option that we get over here. So by opening this up, you can click screen clipping, and by clicking that, Microsoft Word will be somehow closed or minimized, and you will be able to go through other windows that you have. For example, now it took me to this Excel file that I had, as you see. And you can choose the area, and then it will take a screenshot for you, and it will be directly imported into your document. You may need it, you may sometimes need that. And how it works, how this screenshot works, is just like how images work in Microsoft Word, and you can add and use it as easy as that. The next thing we want to talk about is the design to our entire document. So we talked about setting up our layout, but we did not mention the design thing at all. In Microsoft Word, we have themes which are preset, and those themes are a combination of default and preset font families, font sizes, and colors that we can choose among in order to give our entire document some kind of a style or something. We also have them over here, as you see. We get multiple different preset styles for our document. We also can change the color setup of our current theme that we have chosen, and the font setup of it. So we can customize a theme in order to achieve our dream one, or the one that we want to have. Other important settings that we have in this design tab are about page background. So the first one is page color. That is where you can change the background color to your entire document. So this will be applied to all the pages that you have alongside your entire project. We also have page border, which is about adding borders to your pages and to your document. These borders can either be simple lines with different widths controllable from here, and will work just like this. You can customize how the lines look like, so you can make double lines, or you can make dotted page borders. You can add shadow to your page border, and all same kind of tasks are possible. As you see, this is my shadowed dotted page border. You also can go through the 3D tab and use the options that 3D bordering offers you. As you see, this is how it works. And we also have arts that we can add to be our borders. So these are the arts or symbols that Microsoft Word provides us with. And we can choose any of them, and via width we can change the size to them. So for example, I want this one, I press OK. As you see, I have cupcakes as the border to my document. As I said, we can also change the size by this width thing. So I make them smaller, and as you see, this is how they work. We also can add watermarks into our project. So there are some preset texts that we can add, like urgent, ASAP, draft, sample, do not copy, or something like that. And by clicking as you see, they will be added to our project. We also can have custom watermarks. How? By coming here and clicking custom watermark. As you see, first it requires us to specify the language that the text is in. We also have the text. For example, I want it to be the Takeoff College, you know. We have the font family to that. We have a drop down over here that you can choose fonts from. We have size that we can set. And we have color that again allows us and provides us with a variety of colors that we can choose for our watermark. For example, I want it to be this blue, you know. And by clicking OK, as you see, the watermark will be added to my entire project. Hey everyone, we are back to Microsoft Word Masterclass, and this is Microsoft Word Advanced lesson. So there are a couple of things that were left in the Microsoft Word Essentials, and I'm going to mention all of them in this lesson completely. So with no further explanations, let's jump right into it. The first thing that we want to talk about in this lesson is the Draw tab that we have in Microsoft Word. So a question that people ask me often and ask me a lot is that how can I add up a drawing in my Microsoft Word document? So let's imagine that you're doing all of this, you're typing, you're adding your images, you're adding your frames, colors, you know, text formatting, etc. You're doing all of that right. And then it comes to a place that you need to write something or draw something like a signature, you know, or something like that, or whatever similar, you know. How do you do that in Microsoft Word? That actually happens via the Draw tab that we have in Microsoft Word. So we have it over here, as you see. If I click and open it up, you'll see that we have plenty of drawing tools available over here. So the first thing that we are going to do is using this pen tool of the Draw tab. So what pen does is basically what the name says, you know. We can use it, and then our word will be some kind of a somehow locked or something. So as you see, I can't scroll. Yes, I can, but my mouse scroll is disabled, whatever. And I can start drawing with my mouse. So I click and drag, and I say as you see, this is how I can draw with the pen tool that Microsoft Word provides me with. So I can open this thing up, and we have plenty of settings for this pen tool in the Draw tab of our Word. So those settings are first thickness. So as you see, we can increase it or decrease it with these buttons over here, or choose something from these options that we have for the thickness of our pen. And then I will be able to use the favorite size of mine in order to draw, as you see. We also have colors, so we can be using either colors, so selecting colors from here, or patterns. So that's actually very cool as well. So I use this galaxy, for example, and if I draw, you'll see that, you know, this is what it will give me. I really love that, you know. So I'll be able to use these patterns and use these textures in order to draw as my pen color, as easy as that. So we also can click on more colors in our pen, and then we will be able to access this kind of color swatch of Microsoft Word and find our favorite color from these selectors. And then by clicking OK, we will be able to use that specific color in order to make our drawing in Microsoft Word. So we also have this other pen over here. As you see, these settings are the same. So we have these thicknesses, we have these colors, etc. And the point here is that there's actually no difference between these two. But the only reason that these two exist, and the only reason that we have two pens in Microsoft Word, is the ability to make two presets for our pens and be able to switch between these two. That's the only reason that we have two pens in this draw tab over here. And we'll be able to set up the second one as well. So we can open it up and make it the exact kind of pen that we want. So as defaults, as you see, for example, we have a black pen as the first one and a red pen for the second one. And then we'll be able to switch between these two in order to reach our drawing goals. So this is basically it with pens in the Draw tab of Microsoft Word. So as you see in this Draw tab, we also have Pencil. So if I choose it and click and drag, you'll see that this is basically what Pencil is and how it works. So we can't specify that much of a difference between a pencil and a pen. And the only difference is the texture. So if you pay attention, you'll see that Microsoft Word is trying its best to visualize a pen and a pencil and the differences between them. So if you use a black color in the pencil tool, for example, you'll see that it will look a little bit different with the pen tool. And this is what Microsoft Word is trying its best to do. And this is the actual difference between pen tool and pencil tool in Microsoft Word. That's only in texture, and it's trying to make you feel like it's different, while it actually isn't that much. So we also have the exact same settings over here. As you see, we have the colors as well as the thickness. So here we can change the thickness of our pencil tool. We can make it bigger, as you see, or we can make it smaller, whatever. Choose from these options that we have. We also have the ability to change the color, as you are aware of. And that's basically it. That's all that we have with the pencil tool in the Draw section, in the Draw tab of Microsoft Word. So we also do have a highlighter over here, as you see. If I choose it and try to drag, you'll see that this is exactly how it works. So exactly how a highlighter works again. We also have a thickness over here, so we can change it as we wish. And we have colors to our highlighter, as you see. So beautiful, you see? And as you see, the pen surpasses it somehow. It's so cool. It's so cool how these navigate with each other. I really do love that. So that's also what we have with the highlighter of us in the Draw tab of Microsoft Word. This is the thickness that we had, and these are the colors. Again, more colors are available for the highlighter, and you can use that as well. So we also have a ruler over here in the Draw tab that we're in, which is actually used for making some kind of, let's say, calculations and same kind of stuff. So here, as you see, if I use my this scroll bar that I have in my mouse, if I use it, you'll see that I can turn this kind of ruler, and it says the degree to me. So this is a 0 degree line, for example, and then I'll be able to use this ruler in order to create my drawings as I wish. So for example, I want a line and I want my text to be above it, or as you see, even if I click somewhere near the edges of the ruler, it sticks, that's so cool. As you see, it sticks automatically. So if I bring it over here, for example, and click somewhere near and drag, you'll see that it is sticking to the ruler, and then I can click it again and it disappears. As easy as that, you know. So this is also the ruler which we have for our drawings in Microsoft Word. We also have a selection tool. So the select tool will allow us to make selections out of all these drawings that we've had, no matter if it's a highlighter, no matter if it's a pencil drawing, a pen drawing, we can select all and we can move them using the select tool, as you see. So I can click and then move it around just like that. And I can select, I can press delete, and then they're deleted, as easy as that. And that's what we can do with the select tool in the draw tab of Microsoft Word. So we also have the ability to create lasso selections. If you've been through the Photoshop course that we've had, you're probably familiar with the lasso tools in Photoshop, but whatever. Over here, how lassos work is that you click and drag, and then by clicking and dragging, you'll be able to make a selection of a specific area. So I click, and as you see, this is, for example, my area. So all of these will be selected. So this is also another selection tool that Microsoft Word provides us with in the Draw tab. And the last thing that I wanted to mention over here is the, let's say, eraser. So using the eraser, as the name says, I'll be able to click and then drag, and whatever element that touches my eraser will be immediately removed from my drawing. And that's how eraser works in drawings in Microsoft Word. So we also have a format background. Let me add it up over here. So if you see, we can add up notebook styles to our pages, and we can use all of these grids and kind of rule lines. So we have both of them. We have grids and rule lines. It depends on what you want to do, you know. By using these, we'll be able to format our background somehow that helps us with the drawing. And, you know, this is how we can change the background and add up a notebook style background to our documents in Microsoft Word using format background in the Draw tab of Microsoft Word. So that's all that we have with the drawings. Let me actually press Ctrl Z. Let me remove the format background and zoom out so I can use this lasso and make a selection of the entire of my drawing and remove it all, as you see. And that's basically all that we had with drawings. So then we're going to be headed forward to the next part that I wanted to bring up in this lesson about Microsoft Word, and that is mathematics in Microsoft Word. So that's actually a very important topic, as plenty of people watching this may face it someday. So you probably are creating some documents, some math-related documents that need equations and math stuff included in them, and then you're using Microsoft Word and you want to do that. And I am just going to show you how to do that. So we have plenty of things that we can add in Microsoft Word. Let's get started with these signs. So the first sign that we use is probably $sign. So this is a currency, as you see. We probably use it a lot, especially if your document is financial related and same kind of things. So let me increase the font size a little bit. Yes. So we say 12,000, let's say, $12,000. And this is how we do that. By pressing Shift and 4 on my keyboard, I was able to add up this $sign over here, as easy as that. But a lot of the times people ask me a lot that, okay, I have this $sign, but I don't want that. What I do want is actually my own currency, which is, for example, pounds, British pounds. So how to actually do that? How to add British pound sign inside Microsoft Word? In order to do that, first you need to go to Insert tab, and then what we are going to use for this purpose is the symbols. So Microsoft Word symbols are actually wide, and we're just going through them completely in this lesson. And the first one to them that I want to talk about is this British pound over here. So if I click it, you'll see that it is inserted to my project as easy as that. So that's how we can add up the British pound sign inside Microsoft Word. But you may be asking, okay, I'm not using dollars, I'm not using pounds, I want to add up euros. So I'm from Europe, And in order to do that, again, you will be able to first remove the sign and then come to Insert again and Symbol, and opening this symbol up, you'll be able to choose Euro over here. So we have Euro sign, and if I choose it, you'll see that as easy as that, I'll be able to add up the Euro sign inside Microsoft Word. So you may be asking, okay, it's not pound, it's not euro, it's yen for me. So again, in order to add up a yen sign in Microsoft Word, you come to the same path. Insert, symbol, and then we have yen over here, as you see. So these are all the currency signs that we may be using, the most used ones actually, that are all available in Microsoft Word as easy as that. From the symbol part, you can access them simply. So getting more specific about math, sometimes we do need to have plus or minus sign in Microsoft Word. So we're basically adding up an equation or whatever it is, and we need that, let's say, I say 12 plus x equals y, and then here I want to say plus minus. So if you know, you know. In math, I just said 3 you knows for no reason. Whatever. In mathematics, we do have a sign for the times that we can do both. So we can either use plus or minus, and both are usable in that term. We have a sign which is called plus minus. And in order to add that up over here, again, all I need to do is that I need to come to the Insert tab, and using the symbol section, I'll be able to access that, as you see. So plus minus sign is accessible over here. And that's how I can add it up into my project as easy as that. And sometimes we have equals, but sometimes we have not equal. So that's also another sign. We have not equal to. For example, x is not equal to y. So I want to change it to not equal. How I do that is, again, I come to Insert, Symbol, and over here, we do have that sign. If you search for it, yes, as you see, we have not equal to. So if I click it, you'll be able to add it. You'll see that it is added as easy as that, and I can use that as well in my project. So we have plenty of other signs. We have copyright, we have registered, and we have trademark. You may have seen them a lot, in different places. So in order to add up the copyright symbol, in order to add that in Microsoft Word, again, you'll need to come to Insert And in the symbol part, now you can see the copyright sign. And by clicking, it will be added to your project as easy as that. So you also can add the registered symbol to your Microsoft Word. To do that, again, you come to Insert, Symbol, and this time we have registered sign. So by clicking, this can be added to our project, again, as easy as you see. You also may have seen those TMs a lot, which stands for trademark. In order to add those TM symbols in Microsoft Word, again, you'll need to come to Insert, and this time Symbol, and we have it as well, as you see, trademark sign. So if I click it, you'll see that this is added to my project as easy as that. So it doesn't end here, it actually starts here. So we have plenty of other signs. So let's say we have X is bigger than Y, right? And as you see, we have is bigger than, and how we add that up is from our keyboard. So we can simply type this sign. But sometimes we want to say it's bigger or equal to. So again, we want to say bigger or equal to, or we'd better say more or equal to. So in order to say that, again, we come to Insert and Symbols. Here, if I open this thing up, you'll see that we have this sign over here, greater than or equal to. So if I add this up, you'll see that we'll have this mathematical sign added to our Microsoft Word very easily. So we also have it vice versa. The times that I want to say less than or equal to. So this is less than, but I come to Insert, Symbol, and then you'll see that we have less than or equal to over here. I can add it up, and that's how easy it is to add up mathematical symbols in Microsoft Word. So a couple more are left. A lot of the times people say that, okay, I want to say 15 plus 6 minus 7 multiplied by 10 divided to 8 equals something. So as you see, we're okay. We're pretty okay with plus. We're pretty okay with minus. But in mathematical functions, when it comes to multiply and division, as you see, in computers, they're a little bit weird. So they're a little bit different from how and what we write for those signs on paper. You know, the computer version of them is different with the paper. So here we have a star, and that star is going to play the multiply role for us. Nope. We actually can add them through the symbols of Microsoft Word as well. So let's say that I want to correct my multiply sign, and I want to make it as we've learned in schools. You know, I don't want to have a star over here. I want to have a multiply sign. So in order to do that, again, we come to Insert, Symbol, and here we have multiply, multiplication sign. So if I add this up, you'll see that this will be generated in my Microsoft Word very easily. So I also can do the same with division. As you see, I'm having this computer-like division in my equation, but sometimes I want to have it like we write it on papers. So I want to have that sign, which is a line and 2 points, one above, one below. So in order to add that, again, I can come to Insert, Symbol, and this time we have division sign. So if I add it up, you'll see that we can have it over here as well. So there's also other signs that we can add in Microsoft Word symbols. One is micro. So those scientific kind of friends, and those familiar people with physics know a lot about micro. So micro is some kind of a complementary kind of prefix, let's say, for physical units, you know. And in order to add up the micro sign, so this is the sign, and we want to add it up in Microsoft Word. So the sign is something like this. Something like this is micro. So in order to add this up in our Microsoft Word, we can come to Insert, Symbol, and here, as you see, we have a micro sign as well. So I can click, and then I'll have it added in my Microsoft Word. So we also can add up Greek letters in Microsoft Word. We have alpha and beta for the, let's say, example. Let's start with alpha. So in order to add the Greek letter alpha sign to your Microsoft Word, again, you don't need to do anything special rather than coming to Insert again and Symbol, and here is alpha. So if I add it up, as you see, I can have it in Microsoft Word as easy as that. So it's a little bit different with the English A, as you see. And this is how you can add that sign to your Microsoft Word. We also have beta. So if you want to add the Greek beta letter to your Microsoft Word, again, you need to come to Insert, Symbol, and this time, beta sign is waiting for us. I can click, and then my Greek beta is added to my Microsoft Word, and I can use it however that I want. We also have ohm, which is again another unit in physics. So in order to add the ohm sign in Microsoft Word, it's again nothing new. I come to Insert, Symbol, and this time we have ohm over here. So if I click, it will be added, as you see, as easy as that. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the sigma symbol. It is also accessible and addable to our Microsoft Word through the Insert tab and Symbols. So here we have sigma, as you see, and I will be able to use it in my Microsoft Word document if I'm going to showcase something special that I need this sign for. So that's basically all that we have with symbols in Microsoft Word. There are also other usages to symbols. So we have plenty of languages in the world, like German, like French, we can say, like Spanish, that the alphabet is the same as English. So we have A, B, C, D, etc. But sometimes we have very special kind of letters. So we have this O with 2 points over it, you know. I know that in German for a fact. So we have this O, but we have 2 points over it. But if you're having a kind of standard German keyboard or French keyboard or whatever the language is, your keyboard is in the language, you'll be able to insert that using your keyboard. But let's imagine that we're using a basic English keyboard, just like I'm doing, but we want to add up those German, French, whatever letters to our project. So in order to do that, again, we can use the help of symbols in Microsoft Word. Coming to Insert, Symbol, and clicking More Symbols, I'll be able to access all of these symbols that Microsoft Word provides me with. And for example, let me search for the O that I said. I know for a fact that it is over here. Like, yeah, as you see, this is here, you know. The name says small letter O with, okay, whatever. So by clicking and clicking Insert, I will be able to add it as easy as that. And as you see, this wide list of symbols also helps me and also provides me with the entire of symbols library that we have in Microsoft Word. And a lot of the times, if you're looking for something very special, like these arrows and everything, they're very cool, you know, or a very, very specific kind of currency that I did not mention over there, like you see Bitcoin over here, for example, you know. So all of them are here. If you're looking for some kind of a special symbol that you can't find, I really do suggest you to come here and search for that in this symbols window. You also can use and choose from the fonts that we have for symbols. So symbols have fonts as well, just like a normal text does. And some of these even have shortcut keys, as you see. So for example, if you're willing to add the copyright to your project, it says that Alt plus 0169. Okay, it's a weird shortcut, but whatever. As you see, they're available as well. So you can use and add up any of these symbols that you use a lot using these shortcut keys. So that's basically all that we have with symbols in Microsoft Word. And the last things that we want to go through is mathematical equations in Microsoft Word. So beforehand, again, another common question, a very common question that comes at me is about fractions and deductions in Microsoft Word. So a lot of the times we have formulas, we have equations, and we have math-related statements that include these fractions inside of them. And people don't know, people actually panic when they want to add these things to their Word projects because they don't know, they're not aware of how it actually works. Well, it's very, very easy actually. So coming to insert, equation, and opening this thing up, and over here, insert new equation, you will add an equation to your Microsoft Word, and then inside the equation, you see that the equation tab is opened. So here we have symbols that we can add up to our equation, and we have a fraction over here as well. So if I open it up, as you see, we'll be able to add up these fractions to our project. And then here, for example, I say 25 plus 6, and here I say, let's say 18 minus 1. So this is how we can add up fractions inside Microsoft Word. So equations were what you just saw. Let me do it again. So we came to insert, equation, and here, as you see, we have built-in equations that we can use, but I want to insert new equation, so I click on that, and then we have equation here. So we have the equation tab in Microsoft Word. In the equation tab, we are able to add up symbols from these lists that we have. So we have basic math, we have Greek letters, operators, and all of them are available to us. So this is the category to the symbols. We can add them up from here. How we can add fractions to Microsoft Word is using this fraction item. We also can add up radicals. So that's how we add radicals in Microsoft Word. If you have any kind of a project that you need radicals inside, you need to first come to insert, equation, insert new equation, and then in the equation tab, come at radical, and then as you see, we have radicals available as well. So I say something, and I add something over here as well. So these equations are actually very cool. We can blend these things and make up the end kind of result that we want out of them. We also have integrals, for example. So if you're willing to add integrals to your Microsoft Word and you don't know how, again, you come to Insert, Equation, Insert New Equation, and then here we have integrals. So let me delete it, sorry. Insert New Equation, and then we have integrals, as you see. So we can add from here, different types of integrals, and then fill out these squares with any kind of content that we want for our integral. We also have, let's say, limits. So if you want to add up mathematical limits to your Microsoft Word project, again, you need to come to Insert, Equation, Insert New Equation, and then we have limit and log over here, as you see. So for either logarithms or limits in mathematics, you can use these kind of presets that you can add over here. And we also have matrices, so that's also very cool. You may want to add matrices to your Word document. All of them are possible, You're creating a document, you're documenting something special, whether it's a booklet or anything like that. And then you want to add matrices. So in order to do that, again, you come to Insert, Equation, Insert New Equation. And this time in the Equation tab, you add up matrix. And you'll see that you will be easily able to add them just like that, and fill them up. So these are all that we have. Another thing that we have is kind of functions, mathematical functions. So like triangle functions, sinus, cosinus, and etc. So again, in order to add up those, we have Insert New Equation in the Insert tab. And this time we have these functions, you see, and all of them are available. So as you see, trigonometric functions, we have inverse functions, and all of them are available. So this Equation tab is basically for mathematics, and you can use all of these options that equations provide us with. And we can, as you saw, we can blend equations and symbols, and then we will be unstoppable. Our power and our control in mathematics inside Microsoft Word documents will be infinity, and that's actually how it works. So these are all the tools that Microsoft Word provides us with, and I categorize as advanced tools, and we just went through them completely. So this was it about drawing, about symbols, and about mathematical equations inside Microsoft Word. The next thing that I wanted to mention in this lesson, or something like that, is the ruler to Microsoft Word. So the functionality of it has been used by us many times, as we have gone to layout and we have worked with this margin thing, if you remember, which was about the white space we had and everything like that. But Microsoft Word also provides us with a ruler that we can access through the View tab. So we can come to View and check this ruler checkbox. And as you see, these rulers will be added to our workspace. Via these rulers, you can customize that margin that you have in order to achieve what you exactly are pursuing, So you can come here, click and drag, and as you see, these margins will be controllable just like that. As you see, you can do it with no headaches. So this ruler thing can also be a very useful tool to be viewed and to be had inside Microsoft Word. Another thing that may be a concern in Microsoft Word is about teamwork and sharing your documents with the others. It is possible with copying and pasting the file of the document that you get from a saving or something like that. But we do not want to do that for many reasons. One of them is probably the changes that will happen to your entire document and its formatting due to the destination device that may be using a different version of Microsoft Office or something like that, and you don't want to deal with all that headache. So what Microsoft Office and Microsoft Word in this case is providing us with is this share button that we can always use. And first we need to sign in, but after you've done that, you will be able to share this document you have inside Microsoft Word on your OneDrive, which is your cloud storage, your personal cloud storage that Microsoft Office provides you with. And you can share it over there. It actually provides you with a link, with a specific link with this document that you can share. And anyone who clicks on that link can go through your document, can read it, can edit it, or anything like that. And this is what this share button is mainly useful. And after all, I think we're pretty done with the entire essentials of Microsoft Word. So these are all that you need to know in order to work with it. We also have multiple lessons which are going to be added in the future. We have plenty of updates that are all project oriented. So from now, our main focus will only be on projects, on real world projects that we will do inside the next lessons that are coming for this course. But after all, before we finish, I also wanted to talk about saving with you. So you've done all of this work and you have your document prepared, but you want to save it. In order to do that, you need to come to this File tab that we have over here. And as you see here, we have a Save and Save As. You can either save it to your OneDrive storage, or by clicking on Browse, you will be able to save this document inside your computer. Here, you need to specify the name. For example, I say my first document. Here we have Save As type. So there are two main types that we want to mention, and I want you to be familiar with. The first one is work document, which is .docx, which is the perfect one if you want to save your document and have further access to it, if you want to edit it in the future, if you want to have access to what you just created, be able to manage it, edit it, and all same kind of stuff. You can save it to a Word document, which is the default. So if I click save, this is now saved. And if I try to open, so let me close my entire Word and open it up once again. As you see, this is listed over here in my recent documents. I also can click open, browse, and go through the address that I saved my document to, choose it and click open. And as you see, I can have access to what I just created. We also have the option to save our document in PDF. So what PDF is basically an uneditable version of your document, a final one, which you are going to share either with an email, or you want to print, or you want to send to someone, anything like that. So if your project is finalized and you don't want to make any further changes on it and you want to export it, you can do that by coming to Save As again, but this time setting it into PDF. So your file will be saved and exported to PDF. And as you see, this is what I've got. inside my browser, which is my PDF opener or something like that. And as you see, this is what we got. So we can select or copy, but we cannot make any further changes on our document because it is exported and saved to PDF. So that's it. It was such a pleasure to have you in this Word Essentials lesson. I hope it had helped you, and I hope you find it useful. Take care.